Hi, welcome back to the south of France, and I'm back in home territory. I'm back in Villefranche with a very noisy speedboat stroke motorbike behind me. I'm quite finished, honestly. Anyway, something a bit different today because it's Friday in Villefranche and it's the first Friday of July. Now, I know quite a lot of you have messaged me over the last couple of weeks, and the question is usually the same one, which is, what's it like there? How many tourists are there? Are any English people getting in? Are American people getting in? What does it feel like? All of that. Well, usually on these vlogs I tend to sort of walk around and look at the camera, and you get to see a lot of me and not a lot of it. In fact, one subscriber this week said, "I really enjoy your vlogs, but I just don't want to see your face. Could you turn the camera around?" Well, as I always say, I exist to please. So today what I'm going to do is take you from the Darse, one end of Villefranche, right at the far end of the Darse beach, and I'm going to take you right to the end of the main beach, the Plage de Marnier, on the front. And I'm going to turn the camera around. Along the way I'm going to tell you what's happening, the usual stuff, COVID, etc. here, and what the likelihood is of you getting in and all of that. And at the end of this, and this is interesting, I'm going to meet some subscribers who are in town. I've never met them before. They call me the man in the white tee because they say I wear white t-shirts. I've had to put this on specially so they recognise me. But anyway, they've flown in the last week from the UK, so I'm going to talk to them. Should be fun. And I'm going to ask them how they got in, what it was like, what was the airport like, what forms did you have to fill in, how many masks did you have to wear, was it worth it? So, as I always say, don't go anywhere. So before we begin our journey today, just a quick appeal to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, it makes a huge difference. And crucially, we are just 17 subscribers away from the magic 1,000. So if you haven't done it, please do it. Do it for me. Anyway, let's get going on our journey. First port of call, the Darse beach. So let's head over to the beach and have a nosy. We like to check the beaches. I was on this beach swimming this morning. It was certainly quieter than normal. There you can see the Darse beach, very lovely. Lots of space. Certainly, I think considerably less people than there would normally be. Schools here have not yet broken up though. And I suspect Italian holidays begin, I think, essentially on today. At the end of play today, so it may well be that there will be a big arrival of Italians and possibly some French this weekend, and the beaches will definitely get busier when the schools break up in a week's time. But I'll just bring you down now, down these giant steps. They always drive me crazy, these steps in the Darse. I think they were, you see them, they were made for giants. And if I walk in my sunnies, I could do myself a turn. Here we are, as ever, work going on in the Darse. It never ends. Polishing and painting and refurbing the boats. See over here the one in its caterpillar case. They put them in these big plastic tarpaulins while they repaint them and revarnish them. It's a lovely boat, that one in there. It's been one in for a while called Sans Souci. Looked very, very sweet. But anyway, life is going on in the Darse. I think you can probably see that not too many people around. Should give you a time check. It's sort of 3:30 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, so you wouldn't expect the restaurants necessarily to be busy. The French still tend to stick to their allotted time for lunch between 12 and 2:30, but you can see the cordery over there. It's got some new pots, look, some new pampas grass. Maybe swingers have taken over. That's definitely an old reference, that, isn't it, for our older subscriber. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, it's fantastic. We've got to 983 subscribers, just 17 away from the magical 1,000, which when we began in earnest sort of 11 months ago seemed a million miles away. So huge thank you to everybody who has subscribed. It made a big difference, and it's great to get to speak to you. And as I say, we're going to meet some subscribers later on this afternoon in this video, later on in this video. And there you can see in there some, I think they call them artisans of the Darse. But if you ever come to Villefranche, do have a nosy around the Darse, it's lovely. But here's the Joyeuse Baleine that many of you will know, and is thoroughly open again. Ça va? It's not lunchtime, but there's plenty of people there, much used by boaties and by holidaymakers in the know, because it's a rather nice little place to sit, that, and it does quite simple food very well. But anyway, let's head along here. Anybody who's been with me on my Hago live tours will recognise some of this route, because this is the route I often take, so I can talk about these boats. I often forget the name of them, and you know, I almost want to call them bonnettes now, but they're not. They're pointous. Beautiful, typical fishing boats of this area. The local boulangerie here actually sells a bread which is named after them and shaped after them, and it's called a pointu. So if you go into Marie Claire's boulangerie, ask for a pointu and see what you get. Depends if she's got any left. Sometimes she's only got traditions, but we love Marie Claire. But they're so gorgeous, so colourful, so simple, and of course they're used in the Battle of the Flowers, which usually takes place twice a year here, where they sail them around in traditional costume into the village, and everybody throws flowers at them. I've never quite understood why. I keep meaning to look it up. Anyway, heading now towards the Citadel, which interestingly this week featured on TF1, I think it was, because it's been restored at huge cost, and there were lots of weeds in the walls. It was starting to fall down a bit. But you'll see as we go around, it's changed the look of it quite a lot. It's made it a very unfamiliar colour. Now this place is brand new. This is Ancora in the old yacht club. Have a look at the menu, see what we've got, see what we can have. Oh look, salads and pavé de saumon and a chicken, reasonably priced. Filet de beef, de boeuf, côte de boeuf. Bonjour, ça va? Looks all very nice. It's got an anchor. I think it's named after an anchor, don't you? We should have a nosy in. Have a little nosy in. It's got a very, very exciting light shade up there. Look at that. A candelabra. Centerpiece. Very nice. Anyway, we shall have to pop in there. Maybe they'll invite me for lunch, because I'm available for restaurant reviews. In fact, I'm available for anything that's free, on account of being poor. No, it looks very nice, and it's great that the yacht club is functioning as a restaurant again. Just up there on the left hand side, the Tronquette is back doing live music. Park very quiet. All the kids are at school, aren't they? They're learning stuff and wearing masks. Bonjour. Anyway, let's head along here to the Citadel. I did a video last week about a little brief segment of it about the bougainvillea, which is in full bloom, and it really is quite spectacular all over the town at the minute. Absolutely gorgeous. I'll take the camera in close and do something arty like this. Watch. You see. Now, I just want to ask, are you missing my face, or do you prefer the bougainvillea? Maybe drop me a comment below. Maybe you don't prefer this new style of vlog. Maybe you like watching my craggly good looks as I wander around Villefranche talking about COVID. Anyway, let's walk round the Darse. The Darse? We've just come round the Darse. Let's walk round the Citadel. The Citadel that sometimes gets closed off here. This fence gets put across because there's a coup de mer. Let's just check out the bay. It is very quiet today. I have to say there have been quite a lot of super yachts of late. Mr. Stelios' super yacht was here. It's called Fly Me to the Moon. It's got a very big sign. It's a nice yacht, but I wouldn't employ his sign writer. Mr. Eddie Jordan's yacht's been here. He was in the papers this week. Did you notice? Because there's a legal thing all about. He wanted some commission because he'd been selling, I think, Sunseeker boats or recommending them to his rich friends like the Candy brothers. And anyway, he wants a cut because he's hard up, or they don't want to give him a cut. Or it really isn't worth going into in any great detail. It's one of those things that concerns very rich people who apparently need to get even richer. You'll see out there is a sort of a cruise ship, a mini cruise ship, but it's either on its way to the knacker's yard or it's just stationed there. There's definitely no punters on it, I could assure you, and no one has come ashore. But I was the other day on the other side of Cap Ferrat in Beaulieu and Saint-Jean, and there are just as many super yachts as ever. In fact, I think there might be slightly more, because I think some of them possibly are just doing the milk run up and down the coastline and not leaving French waters at the minute. But there you can see the tour boat. Tour boat is going out, so that's back to normal a little bit, and there are people on it. So that would indicate there are definitely some tourists around. I know I've seen the tour bus that comes from Nice. You don't need to get the tour bus. It's very nice, the tour bus. I'm not knocking it. But you, of course, can get the 100 bus for just €1. But the tour bus has passed me a couple of times and it's been very quiet. And I know I was reading in the Nice Matin the other day that hoteliers in Cannes, who are of course getting ready for this very weirdly delayed Cannes Film Festival, which for the first time since when it began, because I think when it began it was in July. But for the first time since then, it's going to be held in July, I think 7th to the 17th, something like that. But the hoteliers were saying that hotel occupancy in Cannes is between 10 and 25%, so it's shockingly down. And even for the film festival, they're really only expecting half of the normal numbers. I think normally they get about 40,000 people, and this time they're expecting 20. But they've got open air cinema on the beach, and interestingly this year they've opened that up to everyone. Well, I don't know whether all the tickets have gone, but you can go down to Cannes and you can watch a blockbuster on the beach at about 9:30 every night. And there's also fireworks for Bastille Day, which I might get down to. There are some fireworks here in the Citadel on the 13th, or in the harbour, and there's a special festival in the Citadel, which I'm going to do, I think, a live Hey Go tour from at about 9:30, 9 o'clock UK time. That's on the 13th. So if you're a Hey Goer, join me for that. If you're not a Hey Goer, if you've never done it, just join. It costs you nothing, and it's fantastic fun. There's sometimes 200 or 300 people from all over the world on the tour, logging on from their pads and their pods and their phones, and we just see what we see. We went to the music festival the other day, and we got involved in a police action on some drummers. Now, the ice cream shop has reopened. This has been shut for months and months. Not exactly rammed, but as I say, it is 3:30 in the afternoon, so don't get carried away thinking that there is absolutely no one here. Most sensible people are, of course, on the beach right now, or in the water, or both. But there's certainly some punters at Palmier, and certainly some punters at Cosmo. Let's take a walk down past the back of the Welcome Hotel and the LX Cafe, and the tap house. Very sadly, these two bars still have not been granted licenses for their terraces. I know certainly the tap house, Beth has had a huge social media campaign to try and restore the license. I don't know enough about the inside story, the intricacies of it all as to quite why it's been denied. But it's certainly devastating for her and for the bar, because without the terrace, as anybody who's been in that little bar will know, there simply is no business. It's not possible to operate. So I hope that gets resolved. Let's go up. Let's go up these stairs. I do hope this sound is all recorded. It's a hell of a long walk to do it again. And let's have a go in the Rue Obscure. Usually when I do my live Hago tour, I can't come in here because we lose phone signal, but this is across the oldest street in Villefranche. I think it dates from the 1300s. And it's where the town would have gathered when they were under attack. Because in those days there was no Citadel. The Citadel doesn't come along, I think, until the 1600s. Bonjour. Ça va?
Ça va très bien. Bienvenue à Villefranche.
Ah oui. And yeah, lovely atmospheric under here. Let's just have a look up at Les Garçons. Les Garçons won't be open, but it has reopened. I keep seeing delicious daube things they put on their Facebook page. I quite fancy trying one. Here's Mr. Les Garçons looking his t-shirt. But here's Rue Pelou looking a lot more lively than perhaps some of the times we looked at it in the winter. But you can see, I think Villefranche is a very different town. Not just right now because of the old plague, but because normally, of course, there are cruise ships in, and they flood the town with thousands of people. And in many ways, it's a more pleasant place to be without them. But I say that not as somebody who runs a shop or a restaurant or a bar, who I think probably they're clamouring for them to return. But I don't think it's going to happen this year. Somehow there was a move to start some Mediterranean cruises, I think in September I read, but I certainly know of one person who was going on one and has cancelled. So here we are on the front, all very, very quiet, but you'd expect that. I'd say it's not lunchtime. There's the measurement. It only serves till 2:30. And this is the new, next to Lou Bantry, is the new dry bar. Dry bar. It's got a few people. It's more of a sort of drinks, cocktail-y sort of bar. And there you go. You can come and sit here on one of their very comfortable sofas. That's when I sat the other day. There you see a sign, dry. It's dry. But very nice place to sit. Oh, I like those chairs. Look at those. I'd like one of those. Shall I have a word with Mr. Boo? Interesting. I got given some credit for the Soho Home website, and unfortunately I can't spend it because the Brexit export fees are so extortionate that it doubles the price of everything. So if any of my subscribers want anything from Soho Home, I can get you 15% off, and I could order it for you, and you could PayPal me the money. You see, I mean, but you get 15% off. What a deal! What a deal! Anyway, do message me because it's got to have gone by the middle of July. There's La Terrasse and a few people in there. But I think you can see as you walk down here, if you've been in Villefranche at cruise ship time, normally this would be a lot of people walking along here, even at this time. I mean, at weekends, this last few weeks, Villefranche is getting very busy because an awful lot of Niçois come here. I think people from probably up in the mountains and stuff come down for a day trip to Villefranche, a day out on the beach. And so it's felt very busy. I don't know how much money they've been spending, because I think a lot of them just head straight to the beach. Who can blame them? But it's made the place feel busier. But you can see the beach over there. Certainly a good number on it. It does thin out as it goes along. It's certainly not anything like normal July levels. There's the Good Mood Cafe, and a few people there. But I think you're getting a picture that it's not dead at all. It's certainly not depressing and quiet like it was in COVID lockdown stuff, but it's anything but normal. Certainly I've been hearing a lot more American voices in the town in the last week. There are definitely Americans in. I met up for dinner the other night with another two of my subscribers who very, very kindly took me out to, and Mr. Boo, out for dinner. And that was absolutely lovely. And they'd enjoyed watching the vlogs all year, and so they repaid us by taking us for dinner, which I thought was a very sweet thing to do. And obviously they said I looked an awful lot better in the flesh, particularly when the camera's this way around. Here's a spuma at the end. This used to be Carpaccio, do you remember? A few of you'll remember. It's been a few things since then. It's not quite worked ever. Let's hope they have a bit more luck. It certainly looks nice. But let's give you a little pan around the bay, steadily. It's a good walk, this, you know. I'm going to build up a thirst for when I meet these subscribers, and we're meeting in Lombardo's. Anybody who knows anything about Villefranche will know that Lombardo's is a proper drinking person's pub. I nearly said man's, but you know, I don't. This channel is very woke. It's a very drinking person's establishment. And do you know, if you could see me walking now, I've got one hand on my hip. I look a bit like John Inman, but the reason my one hand's on my hip is because my trousers are falling down, well, my shorts. So I've got too much weight in my pocket. It's not money, I can assure you. Anyway, let's take a look at the beach and take a look at Delibo and take a look at the last two beach bars and see how they're doing, because you'd think they'd have a few people in. Here's the beach, absolutely lovely and quite busy up this end. And I think I'd walk a bit further down, get a bit more space. I mean, it's very nice this end because it's quite easy for the kids to get in. It's shallow and not so many pebbles. But a few of you have not been in Villefranche for a year and a half or whatever. These seats are new seats. Look, red, like Nice has blue ones, blue versions of these, very iconic. We've got red ones in Villefranche. We've got some new benches as well. The mayor seemed to commission some new park benches. You see? What was it they said about Mr. Pooter? There is nothing so banal that can't be improved by writing it down. But you know, I'm beginning to like the detail. Small village life. It's fascinating. It's life shrunk down. But of course it's just the same as bigger life, really. There's just less of it. Anyway, here's the beds, Delibo. Normally, I think these would all be occupied. Certainly, a fair few people eating, but I think you would expect this day in July to be pretty solid. As I say, we'll come back in maybe a couple of weeks' time and do this again and see what is happening. But yeah, it'll be interesting to talk to my subscribers who've come in from Britain in the last week, just because I'd like to know what it was like to fly, where they flew from, because I think they're from the north. I know. How they got in and what they had to do, what they had to tick. There's an awful lot of lovely ladies down there in swimsuits. I'm going to get accused of turning straight if I leave the camera on these too long. I mean, of perving. Anyway, we'll carry on. You know what they say in Yorkshire, any old's a goal. Do they say that in Yorkshire? Or is it just my house? I'm not sure. But yeah, as you can see, the beach quite busy. A lot of young people now come to this beach. A lot from Nice, I think. It's so easy to get the train line across. It's just up there. And you know, Nice-Ville to here, you're here in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Riquier 2 minutes, you know, and you're straight on the beach. So it's, for many people who live in the interior of Nice, it's actually probably quicker to come to Villefranche beach than it is to walk to the Promenade des Anglais and to Nice beach. Anyway, here's La Praia. This is the replacement for John Mark's old bar, and where I had my pan bagnat. It's a very, very nice cafe. It does very nice food. I've not had anything I've not liked so far there. And it's been redecorated and it's a bit groovier. And it's very, very nice. And so is Le Voile Bleu next door. Been here since 1976, the Voile Bleu. Similar sort of beachy food. And inexpensive. And there's Mr. Voile Bleu. He's the man, he's the main man. I think his dad used to run it before him. It's a family business. But yeah, this beach is quite busy with young people. Ça va? Let's see, they're very au fait with the old vlogging. You point this camera at somebody over 40 and they think you're a bit weird, but young people, they just think I'm normal. I do make myself laugh. I really, really do. But let's walk right to the end, because I think at the end of the beach there is a new sort of little cafe food standy thing. It's a bit like one of those hipster food wagons, you know what I mean? You know, that you see on groovy shows. A bit like that Johnny Vegas one. I love. Has anybody seen that Johnny Vegas show? It's fantastic. Where he attempts to build a glamping site. I love Johnny Vegas. And you know, usually those documentaries, there's a lot of setup and fake jeopardy and blah, blah, blah. And there's the odd moment that feels a bit fake, but by and large, it generates all its own material, not least the bit where, having restored this wonderful old bus that is going to be camped in, the fella driving it doesn't manage to ram on the brake and the bus crashes into the farm building on the field where the site's going to be, and it's a right shit show. But it's terrific value. I think he may well win an award or two for it. I think Johnny Vegas is the real deal. Anyway, it's turned into an advert for Johnny Vegas, this. Gives a job, Johnny. But we're coming up to the end of the beach. This guy, I love this guy. He's been around all the time I've been here, the last 20 years. He's very eccentric, and he rebuilds these fantastic motorbikes. This is a new one, I've not seen this. He used to have a Solex, which I've got a version of, which is sort of a bicycle with a motor on the front, that were built in just immediately after the Second World War as a sort of cheap means of transport, and they're fantastic. But the minute it rains, the motor just whirs on the tyre. There's the lifeguards. Bonjour! Have you saved anyone today? You saved any lives? Aujourd'hui? Nothing? Oh! Good luck. Au revoir. Oh, I tell you, it's like Baywatch here. And I've got Pamela Anderson's tits, I tell you. Anyway, there's the lifeguard. They seem very keen to be on camera. And I like a lifeguard. It makes you feel more secure, doesn't it? You feel like that if something went wrong, a man with very little clothes on would come swimming out into the bay in the skimpiest of clotheslessness and you know, pull you up, back in. I nearly said pull you off. Pull you back in. This is really going down. You see, this is what happens when I don't face the camera, because I just get carried away and then I get wheeled off, and nobody will want to advertise on my YouTube channel if I swear and say naughty things. But you know me, it's likely to happen. It's so lovely around here today, look at that. Anyway, let's see if we can find this trendy caravan over here. It's very Instagrammable, very Instagrammable. And then, when we've done that, I've shown you the length and breadth of Villefranche. I've taken you on an epic hike. And I'm going to take you back into the village, but don't worry, I'll cut the walk back so we don't have to repeat ourselves, because, you know, even a great storyteller like me may run out of anecdote. That was ironic, by the way. But we'll go back into the village for a drink at Lombardo's, and we're going to meet these subscribers. I do hope they turn up. Wouldn't it be embarrassing if I trail the idea that I've got some subscribers and that they've come to meet me and then they're not there? But yes, this is very lovely. Look at this, very fashionable sort of Volkswagen Beetle little cafe, very lovely, very à la mode, bang on trend, eco-responsible, sans plastique, bonjour, ça va? And there you go. And I don't know whether that's the lady who runs it. And there's another one. There's a nice old school slush puppy stand here. Look, this is more me. You know, full of chemicals and sweetness, and entirely artificial. It's a philosophy of which I approve, the slush puppy. There you go, much more down to earth and good prices. Bonjour.
Bonjour Tim, comment allez-vous?
I'm very well, comment allez-vous?
Moi très bien.
Très bien.
In front of the paradise.
In front of Villefranche. How is the summer? How is trade?
It's gonna start this weekend normally.
You
if
think?
It's not raining, because they say it's gonna rain Sunday.
No.
Yes, I hope not.
That's evil. And why do you think it'll start this weekend? Because of Italian holidays?
No, because it's a French holiday too now.
Right.
Normally this week or next week is gonna start.
Okay. And I'm going to meet some British people in your bar actually later,
Yes.
in Le Phare. But there are very few British people here.
Yes.
That's hopefully.
British, yeah, you got Irish, Welsh,
All missing. Yeah. Hopefully the quarantine rules will change. That's the problem.
Now I think it's going to be difficult this year.
Yeah.
Last year it was a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Last year it was more people from the Romania, Polska, and not a lot of English.
Yeah.
A lot of American too, you know?
Yeah.
But I think they're going to come back.
Oh, they want to come back. It's just it's the problem. They have to quarantine in Britain when they return. It's like
that's the problem.
Yeah,
Stay 2 weeks there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think it may change at the end of July in Britain, the quarantine rules. They're talking.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Everybody hopes so.
Yeah.
We hope to. We're waiting for the cruise boats too.
That's true.
There's no cruise boat this year. Maybe we're gonna have cruise boat next year.
But not this year, I don't think.
Oh, this year no.
No.
Maybe in September 2 or 3.
Maybe. Yeah. It's incredible when you think 2 years no cruise ships.
No cruise ship.
It's unbelievable.
10 years ago we had about 180 cruise ships.
Wow. In a year. That's a lot.
Sometimes we had 3.
Yeah. Was that too many, do you think? For business, good? Yeah.
Depends for who.
Yeah, exactly.
For us it was the paradise.
Yeah.
But now nobody wants a cruise boat now.
No.
If you go on Facebook, just show a photo of a cruise boat on the. You start again. Oh, they come. Oh, yes. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Everybody start crying. Oh, it's not nice, but you did.
Yeah.
10 years ago it was not like that.
No. It's difficult. Isn't it?
But it's okay. You see where we live?
I know.
How can it be difficult like that?
I know what you mean. It's still.
For me, it's not a job.
Paradise does. You still feel it's a privilege. It doesn't feel like work.
Yes. No, for me, it's not work. I come in the morning. I finish 7 o'clock at night. with this view. Make a little bit of money.
Make a little bit
Just a little bit. This is for the taxman. Just cats. Not for the taxman. Don't tell the taxman, please.
Don't worry, nobody watches my channel.
I watch your video.
Good. Well, thank you so much. And I'll go to your bar for a drink now.
It was nice to meet you.
And you. Bye. We're now going to head back into the village where I'm hoping to meet my subscribers at Lombardo, have a nice long cold pint of lager and ask them how they got into the country from Britain. So I finally discovered my only fans in the world.
Your Yorkshire fans.
Yorkshire fans, the chairman of the Yorkshire fan club. Here they all are. And you know, what is it that attracts you to my YouTube channel?
It's the white V-neck T-shirt for me that does it.
No, it's not the it's you, Tim.
Is it?
I love the cut of your moustache and the cut of your jib and the way you hold yourself. I just enjoy it. I hang on every word.
Better than hanging on to something else.
And your pictures of Villefranche and the picture you paint with the way you speak of this beautiful area, it's poetry. It's poetry in motion.
Well, that's so lovely to hear. I did promise the viewers on this week's vlog that as you just arrived in the country, in France that is, from Yorkshire land, you were going to tell us how you did it, how you escaped and got here. Was it difficult?
Right. With the tights over our heads.
Right.
Through a tunnel.
You came on the train?
We came on the train through the tunnel.
So you drove out of Yorkshire?
Yes. It wasn't.
We didn't get stopped.
Being honest, it wasn't as difficult as people are saying. Yes, we've got 2 jabs. Get a jab, people. We've got 2 jabs, and we had to have a little, not even a PCR test. We had to have a lateral flow test, which we had at Boots Chemist.
This is in Britain before you set
Yes,
off. 72 hours.
On the 48. On the M1, we called off at Nottingham, went to a little Boots Chemist, good ladies. We had a test, and we all, 3 out of the 4 of us had our result within 20 minutes, and somebody didn't get her result for quite a while. There was a panic, so we rang Boots Chemist, and they sorted it out, and it all came, and it was actually really, really easy.
Right.
The man at the hut on the tunnel just took the papers, stamped the passport,
And said, oui.
So,
Ali.
the Boots give you a certificate, they check the certificate.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's it. As long as you've got proof of vaccination
All
and
good.
that.
All
your
easy.
And
health
when you got to the
declaration.
French end, what did
Nothing,
they do?
just drove off the train and
Right.
yeah, we're in.
We did a lot of horn beeping as we arrived in France.
We did.
And that was it. We were in France.
And then you delivered me all that cannabis.
Absolutely. Not to mention the other powders. It's fine. Talcum powder.
There's Class A as well.
No.
Oh,
I'm talking about the stuff for the rash. It's fine.
Oh, that won't go away. it's vlogging. It gives you a terrible laugh. It's how you hold yourself.
I've often thought it's how we hold yourself. Results can be better.
And was the tunnel the normal price? The Eurostar, is it dearer, cheaper?
Well, to be fair, we have changed that ticket several times now because of the fact that there is the C word, and we've had to cancel and cancel and cancel. But it was, I would say, slightly more expensive. But yeah, it was nothing that was a rip-off, and it was worth it to be here with you.
That's true. Well, it's worth it to be here with you. Look, here we are together. Fantastic.
It's lovely to be here.
It's lovely to be here.
Tim's almost family now. That you know his history. The fact he knows everybody.
I've been in your living room for months. They've got a very big telly.
No, we haven't.
Oh, it's only 32, isn't it? 32. Thank you. Probably didn't turn sound on anything. You watch the videos too?
We do watch the videos. Very informative. And especially the airport, that was very good.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. It's lovely to meet you.
We'll see you
See you on the next one.